welcome to my game engine devlog. In the previous video we have made a small refactor after our time rewind system. And in this video I should start to work on the player movement. The point is I actually started it in a previous non-published video, and I realized there were some bugs in my entity system code. Actually, it's not only bugs, it's inefficiency and one real bug. So in this video I will solve those bugs and we'll start developing the player in the next one. So first, well, let's do a little profiling. Okay, so I'm doing this. And I think it should be fine. Okay, so this is my profiler. And I ask myself a question when working on my game movement. I ask myself the question, should I use my GetComponent function everywhere and this way? Let me see it. Where's GameComponent? Here. If I go to GameComponent, I return a find entity component. If I go to find entity component, I take this and I go to find entity. And if I go to find entity, I have a find if in it. And maybe this is a little too much for something that should be very straightforward. And so I wanted to check in my profiler what is the impact of GameComponent. By the way, I know this is a premature optimization. I have no reason to do that for now. So it's here. I have no reason to do that for now, but actually I want my system to be okay. And while doing that, I realized there was a bug, and I'll show you the bug later. So, okay, well, if I check all the profile of my game, I can see that what is really long is waiting, because I have set my frame to my time to 60 frames per second. So because my game is very simple, it spends most of its time waiting. And well, the initialization is quite long too. So here is my get component, and here is my update scene and update physics. So let's go in update scene. So if I go in update scene, which is where I do my calculations, game update, what is in game update actually? Yeah, we also have update world. Update world is also quite long because we need to get components, and also we have a copy of our game world data. So this copy, I cannot change it. Well, it is this copy. I cannot change it for now. Maybe I'll find a way to optimize that. Maybe I don't need to copy the sprites, for instance. But, well, I have to do this copy. But here, again, it's my game component and my find entity function. And in my find entity, it is a find if that is long. And same here, actually. So I was wondering, could I get rid of this find if? And actually I think I can, but it will force me to solve another problem. So where's get component now? Okay, so I get my transform and find entity component. Find entity component will provide the entity and the kind of component I want. And here I get an entity, and I'm looking for in the components. So the component is, if you remember, you can see it. It is just a list. So here, by default, -1, -1, -1 to say, okay, this is the position of my component in the vector of the component. So this is quite straightforward. Getting that is fine. But my find entity is rather is more difficult. It's a find if. So I go through all my entities until I find the right ID. And I actually think that I could do a kind of optimization on that. Why? Because when I create my entities, I create them one by one with a growing entity ID. So maybe I should draw something. You can see. Okay. Yeah, this was the former diagram I was using. So when I create my entities, I actually add entities one after the other. So here I give an example. I actually have 15 or 16 entities. So let's call it this 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, fine. And so what I'm doing here is when I'm looking for instance, entity ID 3, I go there and there and there and there until I find this. Maybe find if it's using a better algorithm than just going through the vector. Maybe it's using, I don't know, well, it can be using a lot of stuff. But it might just use this log n, not log n actually, it's n complexity algorithm. I think I can do better. I think I can do better because, well, here I'm looking through all my entities, and each time I'm making a test to check if it is this entity ID, and then I get back the entity reference. I think I can do better because, well, let's launch the game, you'll see. No, it launches. So here I keep this and let's check in entities. Oh, it has displayed elsewhere. If I check in entities, so now I have several entities, and in each entity, as you can see, I have my entity ID. And they are classified in order. So the only thing I need when I'm looking for my entity is the index of my entity in this list. The point is I'm forced here to use define if because my ID is actually inside the entity struct. And then, well, and the way to get actually the index is I just need to use the quickest way to find the index. And the quickest way would be to find the list number, to find the index that will have a number as an ID that is inferior to something or superior to something. So it is an algorithm that actually exists in the C++ standard library. It is a lower bound. So what I would like to do is find a way to just check those ideas and not checking each time the whole entity object. So the way I do that is I will replicate, so here in my ECS manager, I have my vector of entity, and I will just replicate a vector of entity ID, so a vector of U32. So let's create that. And we'll call that entity IDs. Okay, so now when I create an entity, I want to also add the ID here, and when I remove an entity, I want to remove the entity here. And if it happens well, if I do not change the order of entities, I should have the same order here and here. So I will have a little more data, but it will allow us better lookup. So my entities, let's see where we add something in it. Oh, actually this is where I have my bug. Because here I add a new ID that is the size of my entities. But if I remove an entity, this size won't correspond. So I should have a maximum, and just add the maximum each time as a new ID and improve my maximum. Well, I do that later. So here I add a new entities and place back. Oh, actually, what's that? Oh, okay, it's called the constructor, so it's fine. I wasn't understanding. It's calling the constructor and it's creating this too. Okay, so again. So here I also need to add entity IDs. Dot in place back my new ID. I will change the new ID later. For now, I do not create new entities after startup, so my bug is not expressing itself, but it will later. So then on place back, so erase here, I will need to go there too. Okay, and it's fine. I'm not sure I need to copy my entity IDs. Maybe I should. Well, I'll do it too. So in my world state, I will add a vector of u32. I'm not sure it's needed actually, but entity IDs. So when I create my world state, I need to update this. Where was it? Entity manager. So here, entity. I need to think about that. I'm not sure at all I need to copy this, but for now I just do it and we'll see that later. And set world state will be entity IDs equal to new world state entity IDs. Okay. Yeah, so now my entities. So yeah, I create that, it's fine. Yeah, I set this, and yeah, this is one I remove. No, it's fine entity, sorry. Well, yeah, is I erase my entities. And so, what do I'm fetching here? I just need to do std erase. So of my entity IDs and entity ID. Yeah, so if I do that, I should have the same. I should have this, still keep the same order. Let's try this. Well, let's continue. Oh, I have nothing else. So okay, what do we have here? So in entities, I have 0, 2, 4, 7, 8, 12, and 13, and here 02478 1213, so it's fine. I'm not sure my erasing is optimal because, but again, it will be premature optimization. Where is my erase? Remove entity. Oh no, it's clean remove entity. Yeah, because here I actually, what do I get here? I would want to get the index, because if I have the index, I just need to remove it from the index here. Well, I'll optimize that later maybe. So now I have that, I will be able to perform a way better lookup when trying to get my entities. When trying to get my components and to find my entity. So find entity. So instead of this, I should just get the index of my entity in my lookup list. Yes, so now we need to find the entity index we want. And it is a sorted vector, so it's quite easy. I should use std lower bound to get to the iterator I want. So entity IDs dot begin, entity IDs dot end, and the value I want, which is entity ID. Then get the distance. So it will be auto index equal the distance, std distance from actually I need my iterator. So the distance from the beginning of my entity and my iterator, and this will give me the index. So what I have to return here will be entities dot at, is it? Yes, at index, and that's fine. And yes, this should be commented out. So let's check if this is better actually. Oh, let's first check if it's working. Seems so. I mean, my collision seems natural, so it's fine. I don't see any specific bug here. So let's profile this. So before, so this was my latest profile. In my GetComponent, well, my code was, the time in GetComponent was mainly taken by the findIf function. I need to test this and check if it's better, maybe with adding a lot of entities. Well, it's just to check if my find entity is efficient enough this way or that way. I would add a lot of elements in my game, like create 1,000. Yes, fine. So let's check this. I check that for a time. Okay, and I will do the same with, so maybe I should open my profiler. So it's this one. So here, as I can see, my get component takes a lot of data. It seems to be the thing that takes most of the time. So it takes 65%. And now let's try it with the other one. Build, and let's profile that. Oh, what's happening? Okay, I'm not really sure what is happening now. Seems I have some problem. Maybe it took some time to load, I don't know. Okay, let's cut it and see what it does. So, well, it's the same. So it seems to take more of my percent of time here. My final entity here was 69, and here it's more. So I would say that this is more efficient with this number of entities. So I will rather use this one. I try to do some time tests later. Okay. So now I've done that, I must modify my code in order to solve the bug I have when I create an entity here. I should have a max number, so I think I will create a static variable that can be private, it's fine. Static u32 max ID. Or should I call it max ID? Well, it's not a constant. It's not a constant, so let's just call it max ID this way. It's fine. And it should start at 0. Oh yeah, it's true. I must initialize that in my CPP file. So what is it? Here. I don't know. I don't remember if I need this. Yeah, I need it here. Okay. So now, when I create an entity, I want it to be equal to max ID. I want the ID to be equal to max ID, and then I will increase max ID. Well, I could do this in one. Okay. Let's check it again. It's fine. Okay, so this should solve my bug too. So this was a better way to find my entities, and maybe I'll come up later with still a better way, because it's still finding this entity that takes time. Okay, now, well, let's say my get component is a better call, a better function, but actually, and especially find entity, but actually my problem here is I am calling this get component function. I'm, in a way, my code is organized around this GetComponent function, and maybe this is the problem too. If I go into my ECS manager, let's say, and in my systems, I can see that I need the system function. So this system sprite row is fine. Yeah, the bounce update here. Actually, I think the worst one is not the bounce. Maybe the worst one is the physics update. I can see that I create collisions, I create changes. Maybe I do not need so much collisions actually. Well, just but here I go through all bodies, apply velocity for transform, and I'm not sure this is related to bodies. So why do I do that? I'm not sure. This I should just go through all transform and not using GetComponent here. And then I do my collision test. And for this collision test, I actually need my transform to compute the box. So actually my problem here is I need the transform for my physics. And I think I should just copy into my bodies, because I go through all of them. I should just copy the transform into my body, so I don't have to do the get transform here and get transform there. So let's do that. I think it will be a way better optimization because I won't have then to call the get component and to go through all my entities, etc. So how to update this? I need to update my component. So, and I will add the position of my transform into my rigid body. So I have a rectangle layer, and I should add also a vector 2. Pose. And so entity pose. It's fine. And now I should have some errors in my code. Let's remove the profiler. So where is I use that? Well, it's when I create my bodies, I suppose. What happened? Yeah. Edit entity with component. Yeah, this is fine, but here, well, body is size. Create a box. So I should create a position 2 here. Const vector 2. Pose. So I should add this in create rigid body. Maybe I should move something here. Well, we'll see. It's not that important. And so I suppose I will call this insane game. Yeah, here I need my position. So it will actually be get component twice in order to modify the position. That's not at all optimal. Okay. Well, I can just create my position here. I just create player X and player Y. So it is a, what is it? Is it an int? No, it's a float. Okay, I should do something like that. Player X, player Y. So here in position, I should just send player X and Y. Or I should even send a vector. Well, now it's fine. Well, I could create it with some data, I suppose, instead of passing this data, but well. And so the same here. Is there a problem? Oh, it's fine. Yeah, and velocity should be the same here. I don't need to get twice a component. It's not about optimization here, it's about just using rational code. Okay, that's fine. And so I suppose I have the same problem here when I create by random velocity. So when I create my rigid body, transform x, y, okay, I have a, so this should be a random, my random value. It's a F32. Okay. And so the position here should be equal to xy. And I can take this and put it there. Okay. So I create my components, my position. So now I have a position in my component and I can use it. And also I need to update it when I change some stuff. So in update world, I suppose, it will be in update world. When I update all positions, yeah, so here I should also update world for each position change. I should also update the body here. Well, I suppose I need to do that once. Or maybe I should do this when I compute the position change. Yeah, I have a position change delta. Yeah, so I should just do the same. I should just think. One, I do all the changes here. Yeah, I get the transform, so I don't need to call it once more. Transform.position will be equal to that. But before, we will update the velocity. Yeah, but this is not a collision change. Also, I have to get my component here. So I'll add a get component. Position change. And I will use body dot position. Is it not body? Sorry, it's body dot position. Well, equal that. Well, actually, I just need to. I don't need to additionate it. I just want to sync all the positions. And then if here I have a position delta, I should also update my body position equal transform.position. And here should be the same. Body dot position dot y equals this. So now I'm starting to think maybe I should, well, for now I'll keep that. I still get all those transforms for each change. It's not that good, especially in update world. So I think we will have to optimize this too later, maybe. But now I can change this. So let's start with system physics update. Maybe here I don't need, I can go through all bodies and I don't need the transform here. Because I can just, here I have my delta x position change, delta x, and so this transform is not needed anymore, actually. And now I can just use my body, oh it's my ITR actually. Position x, because it should be the same position. And so when I go through all other bodies, I don't need other transforms either. I can just take other that position. Yeah, so I don't need to get all my transforms twice. So here I have not any get component. I have no get component anymore. And I'll try to do the same here. This is applying collision change, so here I have my transform, but same, it's a body. Why do I get a copy of it? Well, I'm not sure I need a copy here. What? Oh, it's because here I went with an iterator. Yeah, do I really need to go with an iterator for this? I could just have that. Well, let's correct that and I change this later. So, where is my transform used? Only there, so I don't need it. And so here I just need my body dot position x. Yeah, I won't change it. It's just about reading it. Yes, so I can tell it's const. I think it will be fine. So here I should also update my code in order not to use the iterator. I don't need the iterator actually. I don't think so. Yeah, so let's just use const auto reference body in bodies. Let's update that. I replay this. What is it? Replace. And then replace. Okay. So let's find this and replace it by body dot. That's fine. Okay, and it seems I still have an error. Oh yeah. So here I have to have a const auto a other in bodies. I don't know why I've used an iterator here. Yeah, the point is, maybe this is the reason why. I have no body here. Oh yeah, so I need to replace this. Okay, so I have to have an equal iterator for my rigid body. So let's create it. And actually, I just need to check if it is the same entity. Or maybe I can just do it here. Equal other.entity ID. That's fine. I don't need to implement this operator for now. Okay, fine. Well, let's check if it's working. Oh, maybe not. I'm not sure what is happening now. Yeah, so it seems I have get some performances. We can see that the wait time is way longer now. But so it's still fine entity, and it's still fine component, but it's only happening now in update world and not in my update function. The update scene is way easier. But maybe there's a problem with my code. I'll maybe it's just that everything is putting it outside of the window, so I just get back to a classic number of entities to see what would happen there. Oh yeah, see, I have a problem actually. So there's something in my code that's not good. Well, I suppose it's in the update world part. Oh, I think I found the bug, other box. This is not the other box, this is the body box. This should be the other box. Yeah, this should be the other box. And oh, what happened? Yeah, this should be the other box here. Because yeah, I'm trying to collide with myself. This is a problem, I think. Okay, this is the other box. Is it working now? Yeah, it's better. Okay, that was my bug. So let's back to our test. In scene game, I will create 100. It's working better, so let's profile it. Yeah, I think it's already working better. I just wait for some time for the profiler to get some data. Okay, stop. Yeah, so now my system physics update takes some time. Actually, what is taking time in it? Well, it has to do some calculation. And yeah, in my system physics update, it's no longer the get component. In the update scene, actually, the get component function is no longer taking so much time. If I'm looking for get component, I can see that, well, I have a little here. Well, yeah, for preparing draw, and I'm not sure I actually need it. And I have it here for my update one. As I told you, I think I can optimize that. But here, I just go through all components, and I have no more get components. So well, yeah. Now get component is only a small part of my game time. It seems. Well, is it all the game? And date, etc., etc. Where's my waiting part? Okay, I'm not sure, it's somewhere. So it seems to be better, at least from the get component point of view, because I don't use it anymore. So yes, I should avoid, in a CS system, I should avoid using get component. I could even call it get component expensively, because this is what I'm actually doing. So it's okay for the system physics. And can I update? Can I improve my update world? So I wish you a good day, and next time, promise, I will start my game. Bye.